This weekend's yoga practice, I led everyone through an Ashtanga style yoga practice. It's a little bit intense. Those first sun salutations can kind of get you, but it's a great basis for what Vinyasa yoga is. And it's where a lot of our Vinyasa practices stem from. So Ashtanga yoga actually means 8-limb yoga or 8 limbs, which is 2 different things. Number 1, Patanjali created the 8 limbs of yoga, or Ashtanga yoga, which is the 8 limbs of yoga. We've gone through that. It's yamas, niyamas, asana, pranayama, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, blah, blah, blah. So it's those 8 limbs that encompass all of what yoga is. And then Pattabhi Jois took what Patanjali taught and said and believed that this sequence was what Patanjali practiced in the asana practice. So he created this series, a sequence called Ashtanga Yoga. And this is Ashtanga Vinyasa. So this Ashtanga Vinyasa is different than the all-encompassing 8-limb path. This is set sequence and lifestyle based on what was believed to be the original style. So we have this. I've gotten so many of these because I used to practice Ashtanga a lot, and my teacher would pass out these worksheets or these handouts almost every class, and I would go twice a week. So after a few years, I built up quite a collection of the primary series. And so I did part of the primary series. We did 5 sun salutation A's, 5 sun salutation B's, and it's set to a certain breath style. You're doing Ujjayi Pranayama, then we do a series of standing postures, and we get into the primary series when you get to seated poses. We got to a couple of seated poses, not a whole lot, but there's a lot of vinyasa in it, meaning jump back, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. It can be a little bit fast-paced at times with those transitions, but also this is a guide, not a rule, as to take this at your own pace. I do have a 90-minute practice, the Ashtanga Vinyasa practice, up on my YouTube channel. It's actually one of my more popular videos, and I talked about Ashtanga a little bit during our training just because there was some interest in it, and it can be, for some people, they really love it. It's a very rigid, disciplined, this is what you do, 6 days a week, vegan lifestyle, or it can be a great complement, which is how I like to use it, practicing once or twice a week in this way, which is what I've done for years. So I never was on that 6 times a week schedule, full lifestyle, but a couple times a week adding this is with your training, with your yoga practice, with whatever else you're doing, can be super beneficial for the body, mind, all of that great stuff. So I recommend, having this sequence. This is what I do in my personal practice at home, is instead of now following videos or other teachers, I now just go to the Ashtanga series. I have it memorized, it's easy to do. I can do half hour, I can do an hour, I can do more, less, so it's easy to pick and choose, and also a great way to get into sequencing. Once you understand the framework and have a basic framework of what a class is and could be, you can then break it up and make some additions and changes and kind of flow and play around from there. I used to struggle a lot with sequencing, and then I realized when I learned a few sequences that were set and this is what you had to do, and I learned them, memorized them, had them done, I was able to then take and tweak a couple things and play off of that because I had some tools in my back pocket that could help with just adjusting just slightly for my needs or for the needs of my students. So Ashtanga Yoga, there's some information on that. I have also the invocation, we did that, there's some chanting, all of that involved. So if it's for you, awesome. If not, awesome, doesn't matter. Take it or leave it. If you're interested in learning more about Ashtanga Yoga, I love this book. It's the Ashtanga Practice Manual by Dave Swenson. That is not me on the cover, that is Dave Swenson on the cover. And he's actually kind of funny in this book. It's really interesting because the practice is so serious, and yet to have that humor in there is really fun and lighthearted. I actually have a video of Dave Swenson too. I bought, I think, a long time ago of the primary series as I was learning it. So if you ever have a chance to check out Ashtanga Yoga primary series or intro to Ashtanga, I think it's quite fun to do myself because I don't have to think, I just count. I breathe, I count, and I move, and I know where I'm going. It becomes a really wonderful meditation. So there's a lot more information on that everywhere you can find Ashtanga Yoga. Dave Swenson's book is great. It also has a 45-minute and a 30-minute and an hour-long sequence in here in the back, as well as just knowing the poses. Now it's hard if you haven't done this before to see this and then actually do it, because the transitions are also important. How you breathe in it and how you hold, like there's a specific way. So we'll practice this a few more times. You can go to my YouTube video and follow along with me. I made that a few years ago though. It's sort of a no BS, just this is what you do type of practice. And enjoy that. And I'll check in with you. And if something you have more questions about, please reach out. And have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next video. So see you next time.